hanging in the garden, and picking a few snacks along the way. Hello everyone, and welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. It's the weekend and I'm in the garden again, and that's when I like to spend most of my time in the garden. And I'm going to be working on a lot of just random projects, and I thought I'll just bring you with me. Today, at the moment, I am over at the neighbors and I am double checking that all of the drip irrigation is in the way we want it to be in. And I've already added drip irrigation 2 years ago to all of these raised beds. I have the main supply coming in on both sides here, going to all of these beds, and on the back side for the beds there along the edges. And now I need to work on these 2 beds. So there was already drip running here to some wooden beds that we replaced with metal raised beds. And these are Vego Garden metal raised beds. And the drip is not quite long enough. So I have drip in the front. It covers all of the celery, but I have no drip back here. So we're going to add a little drip here. And then the drip that I had on this bed here, it barely covers the beans that I have right here in the front. So we're going to add a little more drip back there. At least that's the first things that we're going to do today. And if you're interested in how to set up drip irrigation, I have a whole video where that's all I talked about was drip irrigation. And I will make sure there is a link to that video as well. But I'm just going to work today, and I figured I'll chat with you a little bit while I'm working. So it's a overcast day. We've had quite a bit of rain again. Southwest Ohio, zone 6B, right on the line between 6A and 6B, to be honest with you. But we call this the rainy season. So from March all the way up, typically through April, it's kind of rainy. But the rain just doesn't seem to be letting up. I mean, we've gotten this month alone, according to my rain gauge that I have on my home, we've gotten 4 inches of rain in the last 30 days. So that's a lot of rain that needs somewhere to go. And as far as my beds go, my garden's super happy about it. So no worries or problems there. So we're very happy from a garden standpoint. But from a yard standpoint, ooh, it's soggy, y'all. It is soggy, soggy, soggy in the garden. And since it's so soggy out in the ground, in the main garden and muddy areas, I had to pull out my boots, y'all. You see my boots? I had to pull these back out. I love my boots. These are HISEA Boots. And I usually wear them this time of year because it's wet and it's rainy. And so I pull those back out for the work that I'm doing today. And I'm just tying into the main water supply that's running behind these beds here. And I'm going to try my best not to get poked by these roses that are right behind me as well. The type of fasteners or barbs that I'm using today, I actually don't even need a hole punch for them because they have a little end on them that lets me poke right into the main water supply. So I don't have to use that step of having to punch a hole, which is amazing. That's always a good thing. Now, since this bed is up a little higher, I'm tying into my main water supply with a solid hose, and then I'm going with from the solid black hose right here to my drip irrigation. I did it wrong just a second ago and I have to fix it. Just wiggling my little straight barb on with gloves. And now tying into the main water supply. See, there's my little black hose. Let's tie it down. And let's run our wire. I'll run enough to go down and back. Always put a plug on the end. Okay, now let's work on this one behind me. All right, I'm on this back side, and my neighbor has some of the most beautiful flowers surrounding their garden bed. I need to get her over in my yard to give me some really pretty flowers. Don't do flowers unless they're working. I believe flowers need to work. Bring in those pollinators. That's what I use flowers for, and that's about it. So let's try to tie down the one that we already got. Let's start here. And I know I'm in front of the camera. There we go. Let me get out the way. So we're going to run this one just between the dragon tongue beans. Behind the dragon tongue beans are potatoes. Oh, that rose tried to get me. So I added extra to this bed. It's looking good. I added some to the back and to the front, as well as the middle where the potatoes are. Okay, we're going to move on to something else. So I'm moving on to another project. I have moved my dwarf tomatoes in my GreenStalk vertical planter over to this area here because on the patio they're not getting sun. Now my GreenStalks are supposed to be on my driveway, but I'm waiting for my driveway to be, I'm having concrete poured in my driveway, and I don't want to get them all set up ready to go, and then I need to move everything because they're ready to come pour the driveway. So I'm just going to leave them here on the sidewalk on the side here so they can get full sun. There's morning sun, there's afternoon sun, and they will be much happier in this spot. But I have one plant that is struggling. It's a beauty king right here. It's struggling. And so I am going to put another one right beside it, just in case that one doesn't make it. I got another one ready to go. Now, if I was planting for the first time, I would have been putting Mykos in. I'm just filling in spots at the moment. So there's another beauty king in that spot. But look at this, y'all. This is, what is this? Bush steak, the new big dwarf. They're happy. Look at this one. What is this one? This is a, ooh, that's a Tasmanian chocolate. Look how pretty that is. And everything's green and healthy. Very, very healthy. Looking good. Let's go do something else. In this GreenStalk at the very top, I had some romaine lettuce, I had some Merlot, and the Merlot never took. It didn't make it. And so we are going to, ooh, there are little bitty bugs in there. That might be why the Merlot didn't make it. Well, my goal was to plant some carrots in here, but there's little bitty bugs. That's probably not the answer, but for now, that's what I'm doing. Huh, interesting. There's none in any of these other pockets though. That is really weird. And so I have carrots growing in 3 pockets here. They're St. Valerie's. And I'm going to add carrots to these other 2 pockets as well. Just want to move this out the way. That's just really weird. I'm going to add some more St. Valerie. And I think I only have carrots growing in 1 other GreenStalk. So this will give me a really nice GreenStalk planting of carrots. And so I'm just going to sprinkle them on top in these 2 pockets. Now we'll have to come back and thin because I know that's too many. These are coming up and they're nicely spread out. I'll put 2 or 3 in this back corner, but these are nicely spread out as well. Okay. Let me put my gloves back on. Now I have carrots growing in my metal raised beds and my wooden raised beds, as well as, where else? Metal, wooden, and in my GreenStalks. So we have carrots growing in several different places. Let's move on to something else. So I'm moving over here to my pride and joy. This is a true black brandywine, and it's growing in my Vego Garden tomato rolling planter. So it's a self-watering planter, and it rolls around on the patio if need be, and it's self-watering. So there's water in the bottom of this. So I don't have to water it that often. And you know, that's one of the problems with containers, is that they dry out and you need extra watering. And so to keep that level, even watering, this is a self-watering planter. And this thing is beautiful. Look at it. Let me bring you in close so you can see just how healthy it looks. I mean, look at her. She is gorgeous. She's got blooms. She's looking good. And she's getting very, very thick down here at the bottom. And that's what we're going to work on next. I also have in the back here 1 cucumber plant growing in here with it. So we're experimenting just a little bit. The cucumber's right here. So this is a little bit of an experiment. Let's see what happens. But we got too many leaves down low, and that affects airflow. And so we're going to work on that next. Airflow is very important for the health of your plant. And so when you're growing tomatoes, no matter what kind of trellising you have it on, there's a couple different things you need to be concerned about. You need to be concerned about splashback from the soil. So diseases and stuff like that live in the soil, when you water, it'll splash up from the soil onto the leaves, and that can cause different types of viruses and things to your plant that could make your plant sick. So you want to try to remove all of your leaves from down low to help with splashback. Now, even though I'm not going to be watering that often, since this is a self-watering container, I still plan to move some of the leaves from down below. In addition to that, you need airflow throughout your plant. If your plant is so bushy and it can't get airflow, it could reduce pollination, right? Because your blooms up here, they need to get pollinated as well. So when the air flows through, it gives them that little shake that helps with pollination. And so I am going to clean up some of the lower leaves and make sure I have good airflow. Now, anytime you're going to prune your plants, you want to make sure you have nice, clean shears, pruners, whatever you're going to use, scissors. And so I just took these inside, and honestly, they were disgusting. But I took them inside, I washed them up with soap and water, and then I cleaned them with a little bit of alcohol. And so I'm going to remove all of the leaves from down low. Probably about a foot up. Maybe about a foot, not much more than that, because I don't plan on doing a lot of watering here, but I still want to get them up from down low. Now I'm going to try to keep as many vines going up as possible because this is an indeterminate tomato. So it's going to vine and vine. It's going to keep growing up higher and higher. So I'm going to try to keep as many as possible. So I'm not going to cut out all the suckers. The suckers is, let's see if I can show you an example. The sucker grows in the armpit of your plant. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but here's the main stem coming up, and then here's a leaf coming out the side, and then there's a new plant coming up in between that stem or that leaf coming out the side and the main stem. There's a new one coming up right here. Now that right there would be a sucker. I'm going to leave the suckers about midways up of the plant. Anything that's down low, I'll probably cut that out. But that sucker will grow a whole new plant for you. So you can take that sucker and you can put it in water, you can root it, or you can take the sucker, if it's long enough, and just stick it in the ground and it will root. You don't even have to put it in water to get roots first. All of those little hairs on your plants will, if it touches the soil, it'll grow a root right there. And also by cleaning these up, it's going to help that little bitty cucumber plant that's back there get some air as well. And let's see if that cucumber plant is going to grow. This is a very, very pretty plant. It's honestly the healthiest plant I have in the garden, but it is also the first plant that I put in the garden. So I removed all the leaves basically up to this first railing on the trellising system, and that's good for now. Let's go do something else. Okay, this container right here had strawberries in it over the last 2 years, and there's really nothing in it now. So I am going to move this one strawberry that I have right here into this empty strawberry pocket. So waste not, want not. Let's see if we can get that strawberry plant to grow. And then I'm going to turn this pot right here into a pepper pot. Let me go grab some fertilizer. So I'm using my Doctor's Earth fertilizer here. Just get that mixed in. And I am going to put that pepper plant right in the middle. Right there in the middle is where I'm going to put it. Actually, this is going to be Costa Rica. And actually, I'm not putting it in the middle. Can't see what I'm doing. Put one on each side. Hopefully I can get 2 in here. I'm gonna have to add a little more dirt. But for now, this is good enough for me to get it started. I went ahead and brought my Mykos over here. A little Mykos. I don't have Costa Rica growing anywhere but the GreenStalk, so we will add 2 Costa Ricas right here. Now this container is supposed to be self-watering as well. It always stays extra, extra wet. So I don't really do a lot of watering here because it holds a lot of water. There's Costa Rica. Let's go do something else. So this I call my herb and carrot raised bed. Look at those carrots. Look how healthy they look. Look how healthy they are. And in the back, I have sweet peas growing back there. They're just starting to flower and bloom, so they're getting happy. I have some ground cherries right there, and I added a ground cherry right there. And I'm going to add something right here in between these two. Now I still have a lot of plants left from the plant sale that, you know, I couldn't even have the regular sale. People just came by and knew it was time and asked if they could go ahead and pick up. So I went ahead and just let them get what they wanted. And now I don't have enough plants to do a sale, but I still have quite a few plants over there that we need to do something with. So I am just going to find a home. We're going to stick it in wherever we can. And this is probably way too close, but I'm throwing in a Costa Rica right there. Another Costa Rica plant in. Let's see if we can find let's see if we can find more places for more plants so we can get them off of my patio. Look at that broccoli. Ooh, don't it look good? Man, we'll probably be picking that broccoli and maybe that broccoli in the next couple of weeks. I got to keep protecting it. I don't want any worms and those moths and everything to get it, but we will have broccoli very soon. Working on moving the rest of my green stalks where they can get full sun all day. This is not really where I want them to be, but hey, it is what it is. Green stalks removed. All right, it wouldn't be right to end this day and this video without a small harvest. I mean, it is what, May 18th? And I've been picking strawberries every day, and that strawberry harvest has been getting larger and larger every day. So we're gonna pick some strawberries, and I think my radishes are ready. So let's pick the radishes first, then let's pick those strawberries. Now my garden is starting to get a little bushy with these potatoes behind me. The tomatoes are doing well right here. These are all paste tomatoes. They're looking good. They're going to be trellising here shortly. And in the front here, I have radishes. And these are, oh goodness, don't get me to telling the story here. I don't remember what all different kinds of radishes I have in here. I know there's French breakfast, that's one kind. And then I don't remember. But they are ready. Look at that radish. Isn't that pretty? We can add some radishes to our salad. Isn't that a pretty radish? So we're going to pick some of those because they are hiding my flowers that I have in here. Now that one I should have waited. That one's too small. Here's a nice size one. Yeah. Yuck, slug. I don't like slugs. It's just been that wet. The slugs are so bad right now. Oh, here's a purple plum. Look at that purple plum. Look at the purple versus the red. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Uh-oh, waited too long on that one. See, that one split open because I waited too long and then we got that heavy rain. But we will we'll throw it over here and let it compost. Purple plum. Boy, these purple plums look good. Ooh, that's a big one. Look at that one. And I've found radishes last a nice long time in the refrigerator once I get them cleaned up and washed. They last a nice long time. And I like pickled radishes. Oh, they are so good. You know what? This one that split up, nah, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it. So I believe all of these in the front are French breakfast. And then I get to, I think it's called Cherry Belle, I think is what these red ones are called. And then behind there are the purple plums. And I think that's it for now. These aren't quite ready yet. So there are the radish. Now, let's move over and pick all of those wonderful strawberries that are waiting for me. Okay, I'm going to start harvesting these strawberries, and I prefer to do that without my gloves on. And I just harvested strawberries just yesterday, and I picked, I think it was 6 ounces of strawberries. And got those washed up. Of course, the kids and I are going to fight over them, as we always do. But 6 ounces, that was the largest harvest yet. And I'm just going to keep working my way down. I just keep spinning and keep working my way down. Some of these aren't quite ready yet. Tomorrow will be a much larger harvest, since I did just pick them last night. But we are getting a few. And I'm trying to weigh everything that I pick so we can see just how many pounds of food that we're going to grow this season. But there are the strawberries. Some of these I could have left on a little longer, but there are the strawberries off of this one GreenStalk vertical planter. And now we will move to the other ones. Now this GreenStalk had some empty spots in it that we filled up this morning. These are Ozark Beauty strawberries. They're ever-bearing strawberries. And I prefer ever-bearing because you get a few strawberries all season long versus a whole bunch at one time, and then like in June, they're called June bearing. Instead of getting June bearing, which is all at one time, a heavy harvest, I prefer ever-bearing. Uh-oh, didn't mean to pull that one off. Some of these are strawberries from last year that overwintered and came back. And some of these are new strawberry plants that I put in. I'm just working my way down, picking all of these wonderful strawberries. And I think that's it on this one. Let's move on over right beside me here. Now I found some kind of animal that's been like eating my beans all the way back to nubs, pulling out broccoli. And guess what? I found that animal this morning. I know exactly what it is. And here's a picture of that animal. And do you know that that rabbit wasn't even afraid of me? It just sat there and it looked at me. I walked through the garden. I walked up on it. It looked at me like, why are you interrupting my meal? But I have a rabbit. We will have to take care of that rabbit. We cannot let that rabbit stay in the garden. And I thought my only issue was squirrels. And this rabbit was looking for me to leave. I was interrupting his meal. Now I finally did get these beds cleaned up, and they have a ton of strawberries on them. They're just not ripe yet. But these are some bigger strawberries, but these are well established. They've been here now. This is year 3. I believe year 3. No, year 2. That one is year 3. This is year 2. Okay, I'm over to the last GreenStalk. And again, I just picked these yesterday. So I'm not expecting a ton of strawberries in here that are ripe. I try to wait for them to be completely ripe so that they're just super, super sweet. All right, I think that's it in this space here. Now, I do have strawberries in this space right here, but none of them are ripe. But look, y'all, I got peaches. Look, I got peaches on this peach tree. Look at this, peaches. This is the first year I'm going to have peaches, and they're too thick, obviously. So I am going to have to thin those peaches out before they get too big so they can size up. And look at this, y'all. These blackberries are starting to head up as well. There were flowers on there, but now there are blackberries. These are thornless blackberries that are coming in. So I've just been hanging out in the garden doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I'm ending the video with some strawberries and some radishes for lunch. What a way to spend the day. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and give me a thumbs up for the video so I know that I'm giving you content that you want to watch. So until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you come and hang out with me, Kim, at Kim's Cozy Corner. Bye.